And as you heard from his intro, my guest today on the Paracave podcast is a massive rugby league fan, player, president of a national team, and also works in rugby league as well at the club that I love, the Parramatta Eels. Certainly has got the quad, you could say. I was going to say trifecta, but that's a quad, I'd say there. The presidency, the player, the working, and the fan. So welcome to the Paracave podcast, James Cairns.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's great to
Oh,
be
not
on.
a problem. This is going to be a really interesting chat, especially when we get to your playing and presidency, because, as I said, Thailand rugby league isn't that well known around the place, and we've got a game. You've got a game coming up uh, this weekend, so um, yeah, we'll get into that one. But we'll start off with. Whereabouts did you grow up and what was your childhood like?
Yeah. I grew up I was born in the Shire, but in year one, I moved down to the Wollongong. So I consider myself a Wollongong boy. Grew up there, still live down there. Um, Growing up, I was a typical Aussie kid. I played cricket, I played footy. Um, Fell in love with both of those sports and still love those sports to this day. Um, yeah, and love Wollongong as well. I'm a big proponent of Wollongong.
Okay, yeah.
Um, for everyone in Western Sydney who thinks Wollongong's about 24 hours away, it's actually just an hour and a bit down the freeway. So come visit someday.
And they've got a nice bridge down that way too that I've
Yeah,
never had the pleasure of going over or finding. I've tried to find it one day, but I'll get there one day.
it is a bit
Uh,
hidden.
yeah, that's it. Um, did rugby league find you, or did you find rugby league?
Good
How long have you
question.
been a rugby league, I don't know, player and fan?
My whole life, it's a generational thing. My grandfather was massively into it, and then my father was as well. So from birth, pretty much, they had me fully indoctrinated. Um, my dad was my coach for my sole grand final win in under 10s. Um, so it was always a massive part of my life, my family life. We were all equally passionate about it. So I guess it found me and I fully embraced it. And it's now become my biggest passion. So
Now, assuming now the Eels are the team that you support, growing up, who was your team?
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So I guess I have two teams.
yeah.
I love Para and I love the club. Working for the club for the last 18 months, 2 years is an honor and a privilege. And before I got to Para, I guess I didn't realize how much I would fall in love with the club. And then obviously, growing up as a Dogs fan. So yeah, Western Sydney, even though I'm from Wollongong.
So you're following in the footsteps of the CEO, Jim Sorrentinos, as
Yeah,
well. I think he was a Bulldogs supporter growing up as well. So,
yeah, he
but
was.
nah, Eels now, Eels now.
Yeah,
Who are your favourite Bulldogs players to watch play, or even other rugby league players play growing up?
favorite player growing up would have to be Hazem Al Masri. I
Okay,
think
yeah.
just a club legend, but he wasn't that big. He was in from an era when the Dogs won the premiership in '04. The wingers were Matt Utai and Hazem Al Masri with a combined height of 4 foot. So I don't think you'd find that today. But he played many years, played representative, was the point scoring record holder until Cam Smith took it over. So I really loved the way he played the game. Um, and then outside of the Dogs, I loved watching Jonathan Thurston.
Okay, yeah.
I think growing up, I kind of missed the boat on Joey's prime years. Um, but Thurston's prime years were something to behold. He always just had more time on the ball than any other player, but also never played like he was talented. Just 100% effort in literally everything he did. So I really admired JT.
Now, just going back to your playing days as a kid growing up, what position did you play?
usually second row. I think I was 5'8" in the under 10s,
Okay.
under 10 win.
Yeah.
The only kid on the field with my shirt untucked, which is the main thing I remember from the game. Um, yeah, played in the back row, but I gave up footy maybe mid-teens when a lot of people do. Um, moved to refereeing actually,
Okay.
refereed for a few years, and then fell away from participating in the game until my involvement with Asian rugby league kind of picked up.
Okay. Yeah. Now, before you started your current role at the Eels, what would have been some of your previous roles? Has it always been along the marketing lines?
Yeah, always been marketing. I when I left school, I left uni, so I worked for a company called SMAI, which some people may know. They fit out every F-45. They do
Oh,
boxing gloves and weight equipment and martial arts uniforms. So I started there whilst at uni and then a bit afterwards as well. Um, and then agencies, so marketing agencies in the city. Went to a couple across maybe a 3 or 4 year period before I got to Paris. So yeah, kind of built up my marketing skill, but I always wanted to work in sports. So glad I landed here.
well, you certainly landed the dream role at Parramatta 18 months ago because last year, could you believe that ride of 2022 with two teams in the grand finals, and yeah, just a massive year for the club.
Yeah, it was special. It was really special to be a part of. I started midway through 2021. Like as soon as I started, the boys went to Queensland, so it was very separated because they were in the bubble. Um, so I was really excited for last season, and I don't think it could have gone. Obviously, it could have gone slightly better. We could have won it all. Um, but to have both teams in the grand final, um, personally and from a business point of view, we did extremely well off the field as well, um, and hit a lot of targets. And it was just a great year for the club. I literally have my grand final accreditation hanging by my bedside because to do that in your first year,
Yeah,
something we as a club we hadn't done since 2009. So it was really special to be a part of.
yeah, no, definitely. Well, speaking of some of those achievements, what have been some of your marketing ideas that you've thought have been a winner that has come through?
Oh, can't take credit for anything. I work in an amazing team. I'm in the ad. People may have seen the membership ad. I make a cameo appearance. I was roped into doing that,
Yep.
pretending to be the boyfriend of a colleague, walking through Cabramatta on my way to a game. So that got a run last year in KO, and it's getting a run again next year. Sorry, this season. From a marketing point of view and a content point of view, I think what we're doing really well is trying to embrace Parramatta and the city itself. You might have seen a lot of rhetoric around the Rising West, um,
Yep.
Paradise. We're really proud as a club to be Parramatta's team. Um, like you mentioned the grand final, and I don't know if you made it through Parramatta in grand final week, but the the whole town was painted blue and gold. Um, Posters everywhere, signage. It really felt special. And Parramatta is, becoming the second CBD of Sydney. It's a huge burgeoning area, and for us to be the club of that city, we're really proud of. So I think that's something we're trying to incorporate more into our messaging and moving forward, really make that known.
Yeah, no, definitely. I actually work in Parramatta, so that week was, yeah, as you said, pretty hectic. Everyone was happy. The amount of Parramatta colours, jerseys, grand final shirts that you saw, because I work in Westfield, so yeah,
Oh yeah,
you saw them. Every second person had one on. Yeah, it was such a great vibe, and yeah, it was a massive week, that's for
yeah, it was
sure.
really cool. Shout out the council as well. Like a lot of that signage was from the council, and they really got behind the team, which is really important as well because nothing matches physical footprint, and yeah, it felt really real that week. It was a very exciting week. I don't know about yourself, but I made sure to enjoy just the week because it hadn't been a long time, and I have a lot of confidence we can get back there this year again, but you got to soak it in.
Oh, definitely. That's what I was telling everyone during the week, and yeah, just soak it up, and the day came pretty fast as well, grand final day, and unfortunately we didn't get the results in either grand final, but hopefully both the men's and the women's can go one better this year as well, and win the comp. Uh, who are some of your favourite current players at the Eels?
Current players at the Eels. I really like our squad. I love watching the Eels play. Even if I wasn't involved with the club, I would. I think Eels are must-watch TV over the last few seasons. Very exciting brand of footy. Um, that left edge of Dylan Laney is very unique. Um, I love Dill. He's the coolest guy in the world. Just being
Is
in
it
his just
is
being
he
in his
the eas
presence.
is he the easiest one to work with when it comes to something marketing or an
He
ad or something like that?
he is really good, Dill. He has time for everybody. All the boys do, and Junior's another one. Like, I, you will never find a person in the world with a bad thing to say about Junior Paula. Like, he is an incredibly generous with his time. He's very humble. Um, he doesn't act like he's the starting New South Wales prop and the king of Samoa. Um, but he is, and yeah, he's really great too. So we're really blessed as well as a club because we work in the same facility as the boys train out of. So we share a kitchen. We can watch them train, which is awesome for like a rugby league diehard like myself to watch some of the training that just goes on every day we're in the office. Yeah, it's really cool.
And from your eyes as a fan, how are they looking for season 2023
I think we're gonna have
through training?
we're gonna have a great season. Um, it's been really hot.
Absolutely.
I haven't envied the boys doing con work in the heat, and they smash it. They're unbelievably fit. All NRL players are, but the things they go through in the preseason, you can tell why they're able to play 80 minutes every week at the highest level.
Yeah, no, definitely pre-season's. They're probably glad that it's over now and it's just
Yeah,
trials time, and
the hard bit's over. They just have to play now.
that's it. That's it. Well, no, it's a credit to yourself and the socials team as well, because over the last couple of years, it's really come up really well, and been some great posts and little segments on Instagram and Twitter and things like that, and Facebook as well. So, no, keep on going. It's really good.
Yeah, yeah. Credit to the content team. It's headed now by Chesh, who you know, Nicole Cheshire, and she's an unbelievable gun. She's so passionate about para and she's so great at what she does. Um, and I think it's just going to go to the next level from a content side of things this season. So watch this space, but it's in very good hands.
That's it. All right, Parramatta's out of the way. Let's get talking Thailand Rugby League. Um, Now, as I said in the intro, you also play and you're the president of Thailand Rugby League. Which came first,
Wow.
and how did it come about?
Yeah, so it's an interesting space, Emerging Nations Rugby League. Have you watched much of it?
I've watched a little bit of it,
Yeah.
and you've seen. I remember, way back in the day, with the yeah, you used to have like the Nissan Sevens and stuff like that. We used to have some of the emerging nations come and play, and yeah, it was really good. You had your America, you had I think
Mm.
Japan as well, and other countries like that. So yeah, no, it's and then you saw it last year's World Cup. You had Jamaica play there, and
Mm.
I mean, who would have ever thought Jamaica would play rugby league? So
No, that was really impressive. Jamaica and Greece. Yeah, I
yeah,
think the emerging nation space is really cool. So I guess there's two tiers to it. There's the European nations, so like Greece, Macedonia, Malta. Um, Not European, but kind of in that same mold is Lebanon, where they're on the fringes of the World Cup. They have some pretty strong talent, but not necessarily NRL quality sides.
yeah,
But they're still able to qualify for World Cups, which is awesome. Um, and then kind of next to that is your Asian emerging nations, your South American emerging nations, um, that are really trying to grow the game within the communities here and back home. So we're a great example, the Philippines, and then the Latin Heat does amazing work in South America. But yeah, I got involved with it while I was at uni. I just saw that there was a Thai rugby league page and a team.
Okay.
Reached out to them on Facebook to help with socials from a marketing point of view. So that's how I first got involved.
Yep.
And then played for them in 2017. Um, and then, yeah, since then, just been involved from the admin side and the playing side. So we had a game against the Philippines in October in Brisbane, something called Asian Footy Fest, which is going to be an ongoing event. That was awesome. So just trying to build, after COVID, all community rugby league stopped. So just trying to build off the momentum of that at the moment.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. And as you said, the last couple of years after COVID has been pretty tough for, international rugby league as well, without any teams that are able to travel and stuff like that. So it was great to see the World Cup last year, and as you said, hopefully these emerging nations can play against each other as well.
Mm.
Um, how did the presidency come about? Did you
It's
put
on,
your hand up and
yeah, it's only a fresh thing, really. Like the way it was working was there was some guys who were running it for the kind of that long period up until 2022. Is that last year? Yeah. And they did a great job of building a strong base of players and a name for Thai rugby league. And I guess it was they kind of wanted to step away because they'd been doing it a long time, and this is
okay?
a very it's quite a lot of work for quite little recognition, but that's fine. That's part
Yeah.
and parcel of it. But I was willing, and a few of us who are part of the senior playing group, I guess, were willing to take on that responsibility and help to move the game forward. And the playing squad was happy for us to do so. So yeah, I put my hand up for the presidency role. But we have a great committee. So yeah, it's really exciting. It's fresh. It's new. Um, yeah, cannot wait. The game's next Saturday, by the way, the Feb 25.
Yep, yep. So, yeah, February 25, Thailand take on Japan at New Era Stadium in Parramatta at 3 o'clock. What are you expecting from the Japanese?
I'm not sure. It's
Yeah.
up. There's no scouting report. There's not much film to watch. They played a game against um, El Salvador in Japan. No, not in Japan. Sorry, in Sydney, the same day we played the Philippines. So I've watched that game back. But it's a bit hard to know with squads who will be
Yeah.
available. Um, but we're working alongside the Japanese guys to set up the game. So they've been great. Like it's a lot really grassroots feel, and we're both really passionate about the platform. But on game day, I can't wait. I think. Have you watched many games at New Year Stadium, Cabra?
No, no, I haven't.
So there's like the clubhouse, and then they actually have a junior polo
Oh,
mural
yes, I
now.
saw that last year. Yeah,
Yeah,
the mural
Tallman's did
go up.
that. So
Yep.
one side there's a grandstand on one side, and a grandstand on the other. So it kind of creates an us versus them atmosphere, which is awesome. Like I went to a Philippines versus Malta game there last October, and it was off its head. Like the atmosphere was
Yeah.
just as fun as any NRL game because everyone was so passionate and so into it. So I'm expecting the same atmosphere for our game. And that's why we're doing it in Cabramatta. There's a massive Thai community um, and Asian community in that area. So we're really proud to have the game there, and I think it'll be exciting. It'll be something. It'll be worth watching.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's probably the beauty about not knowing much about your opposition is anything could happen. And yeah, it'll be a great game from a spectator's point of view. It'd be a great game to watch.
Yeah, yeah. And there's some kids in our team who are the great thing we're blessed with now is a next generation of Thai talent.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
we've got a lot of kids around 20 or younger who are coming through their respective systems, um, be it Ron Massey, Harold Matz, um, I feel in Sydney Shield, they're quality players.
Yep.
Where in the past it's been whoever's willing to put their hand up, which is great. But we wanted to get to a point where people have to be cut from the team, where there's competition for spots, because for now it's for just representing a culture and in an exhibition, but the goal is to play proper international matches against the biggest competition. Maybe we can make a World Cup, if Jamaica can make the World Cup,
Yeah.
why
Is
can't
it
why can't Thailand? So
is that possible at all to do?
yeah, down the track, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
There are teams in that fringe from emerging nations that have done it. The Greece is the perfect example. Um, Greece is an emerging nations team that started off as a grassroots thing and built momentum up over time. One of the things that those other nations have over us, I guess, is the migration patterns.
Okay.
A lot of those players, there's more of them in the catchment, and they're often second generation players, so they've been here for a long time and they're indoctrinated into rugby league. Whereas we just have less players to draw on. But as we go on further, that pool will get bigger. We're already seeing that over the last 10 years. We're already seeing how dramatically improved the talent is. Like some of these kids that will play for us next Saturday were 8, like
Yeah.
10 years ago when we were
Okay.
playing. So yeah, it's a really exciting future. And I
Is
mean, if we did play in the World Cup right now, we would get smashed. But who knows?